April 2nd, 2025, Frisco, Texas. The bleachers were packed, the crowd cheering, and student athletes warmed up for competition. Among them, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, a straight-A student, football standout, and beloved twin brother. But just after 5 p.m., joy turned to horror. A confrontation broke out beneath a team tent. Moments later, Austin collapsed, stabbed in the chest. His twin brother, Hunter, watched it all, helpless.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and I'm not gonna talk about the rest. So that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but.
Police arrested another 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony at the scene. A fellow athlete, Anthony had no criminal record, yet he was charged with first-degree murder. According to investigators, Austin had simply asked Karmelo to move from the team's tent. What happened next turned deadly in seconds. Karmelo's defense? Self-defense. His legal team claims he feared for his life. Karmelo Anthony was arrested at the scene and charged with first-degree murder. He is currently being held on a $1 million bond.
All right, so basically, we are here, YouTube Streets Podcast. We got Pino in the house as our guest to debate on the Austin Metcalf case involving Karmelo Anthony in Texas, the track meet killing. DBS, what do you think so far about this case, man?
I think it's a goddamn tragedy, man. I think, there's a lot to be exposed, though. There's a lot that contributes to what it is that took place, man. And
is there any racism in it? Because now you got Tyree Nasheed going in saying that this was, race involved. You got Charleston White on the other end saying that the black community is taking this too far. Almost $100,000 has been donated to Karmelo Anthony's GoFundMe for his case. Is there self-defense involved? And is this race-driven?
There's also been money donated to Austin as well. Austin has a GoFundMe as well. So both parties have a GoFundMe.
Oh, so you're on Charleston White's side, huh?
I mean, I'll let Plug break the case down for those that don't know about the case, but I'm definitely on Austin's side, the person who lost his life. I'll break it down further as we get into this, why I'm on his side.
Yeah, it says that Karmelo Anthony was sitting somewhere that he wasn't supposed to. He's part of this track meet event, and it was raining. He's underneath the pavilion, and then Austin asked him to move, and that's when the incident happened. Now, there's multiple witnesses that are saying the same thing. You're not getting different testimonies from different people, but Karmelo Anthony, I believe now, is pleading self-defense.
Well, I mean, self-defense is not. It's not plausible, bro, because and this is something that I've sat down with my lawyer and actually discussed the laws on stand your ground and self-defense. And you do have the right to defend yourself, and you do have the right to stand your ground. But what that means is you're meeting that force with the same amount of force.
Understandable. I can understand that. Yep. That makes sense.
If you're getting physically removed from a tent that you're not supposed to be in, and this is just my take on it. I've played football, and this is all the high schools in Frisco. Is that what it was called? Frisco?
In Texas.
Yeah, so this is all the high schools together. And I played football. And from my experience, bro, we don't get along with other football teams.
We used to jump them, bro. There used to be fights all the time.
Bro, he is lucky that he didn't get jumped, but I don't know the extent of the situation. I don't know, did he physically throw him out of the tent? Did he push him out of the tent?
So I gotta say something, Pino, because it would be a lot different if it was raining and you, a white man, went under that tent where and said, "Hey, I need to cover from the rain. I need shelter from the rain." I'm pretty sure they'd be like, "Come on in, come have a seat."
Well, I feel like race is being interjected into this. I feel like race had nothing to do with it because it is a whole football team under that tent. Do you not think in your right mind that there's a black kid on that football team?
I don't know what's on the team or what's not on the team. All I know is that he was under the tent and while it was raining, and he was covering from shit from the elements of fucking what's going on. I'm
Let's look
pretty
at
sure if
Tyreek
he was
Nasheed's
white,
post.
bro, there wouldn't have been no questions asked. They'd have asked him if he wanted a towel. You want to dry off, kid?
I don't think that's the case. I think if he was white and from what I know is he had a different varsity jacket on. And that's a clear indicator that you don't play for our football team. You don't fuck with us. You are the ops. In football, other football teams are the ops.
Yeah, this is why they don't have football teams and stuff like this in the city, man. This is what I've been saying, man. It's
Well, everyone
specifically
keeps
for reasons
saying
like
that
this.
Austin Metcalf is a
Or the
4.0
scenario that
student.
just gave, really.
Is a 4.0 student, but Karmelo Anthony himself was an honor student. And Tyreek Nasheed put a post out. A suspected white supremacist named Austin Metcalf, pictured with his twin, allegedly demanded honor student Karmelo Anthony to give up his seat like it was the Jim Crow era. Karmelo defended himself from an alleged threat. The Daniel Penny case set this precedent.
All right.
Now, yeah, go ahead.
Suspected, you notice it said, pull that post back up.
Yeah.
A suspected white supremacist. Where do they get this suspicion from? What post? Because him posting with M16s or
Yeah,
AR.
that's hunting. He's just hunting. That's what I said
That's
too.
hunting. That doesn't mean you're a white supremacist because you hunt. So where is this information coming from? Because it's kind of hard. Let's just be real about the situation. In 2025, it is kind of hard to be a white supremacist on a football team.
Good point. Yeah, we all seen the Remember the Titans,
And then
and I was part of
we
football. I
also
played
have to
football
think
too.
about where this happened at. This happened in Texas. Brother, football is life in Texas.
Yeah, but this was track. It wasn't football. I get it's still sports, but yeah, there's some
No, he played
controversial
for the
stuff on the
football
internet right
team.
now.
He played for the football team.
He did.
Austin
Well,
played for the football team, and from what I know is it was a track meet, but the football team were the ones that were under that tent. So, I mean, bro, in the South, football is life, bro. And when you look at another football team, they're the ops on and off the field.
I'm gonna blur this when I put it out, but basically, just want you to see this, guys. This is what a lot of people are posting. They're calling this something similar to the George Floyd situation. I don't know, man.
I don't
Yeah,
think
that's wild. That's wild, man.
that's wild. I think
don't agree with
that's a
that.
wild accusation. I don't think it's
I
similar.
don't even know how to associate the two. To be honest with you, I don't even know how to.
Well, they're also claiming that Austin Metcalf was on Molly at the time and died from an overdose. But this is the thing.
He got stabbed in the heart, brother.
He got stabbed in the heart. This is the thing. That isn't true. I'm just saying what they're saying on the internet right now.
This is a lot of bullshit going around, fake news. But I want to get down to the facts, man. I want to know what it is that took place, because when you look at the crime scene right here, man, and you look at what it is that took place,
to
man.
Metcalf, touch me.
Hold on, and let's listen to what they say. Let's see what they have.
And see what happens. Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony and told him to move.
He knew he wasn't supposed to be there.
Okay, so I didn't know he touched him. See, I'm learning something as we go right now. I didn't know he grabbed him.
And I feel that.
That changes. But the knife is like, you don't. Come on, what are you walking around with the knife for? Like, what kind of action are you getting into? Like, what's going on? I think the knife is over.
If you could do me a favor and go back to the beginning where it shows the bleachers.
Yeah.
It shows the tents right here. So you can clearly see that there were different tents on the bleachers. It looks like there were different tents set up for different teams.
So you're telling me if somebody that was stuck in the rain came and ran under them tents and he was white, he wouldn't be allowed to stay under them tents? No questions asked. He'd probably be given a poncho and a towel here.
You have to think this is football. Emotions are running high. And I honestly don't know how I would think if I was on the field fresh after a game or fresh before the game, or this team just beat us last week. I mean, I don't know how I would feel, bro. football is very emotional,
But this
and
is not football. This is track.
this is
At a
track.
track.
I
This shit,
understand. The
you got to
football
It,
remember.
team is
it's
under here
Pitch a
though,
emotional
right?
too.
10.
It's
To pitch a
emotional
10
too.
is like putting up a flag, bro. I'm
Right.
just saying. So I get where you're going. It can become kind of territorial because now we're flying whatever insignia that we represent for the football team, but we're at a track meet and it's showing force. It's kind of aggressive in a sense. You know what I mean? I don't know. If you look at the tent, I don't know. They're saying that the brown tent is the tent that belonged to Metcalf, or the one that he was defending. He got laid out all the way in the walkway about 4 or 5 bleachers up past to where it was. So he obviously put his hands on him and said, "Yo, listen, you got to get out of here." And he probably tried to walk him off, and then whatever took place. But let's listen to it again and see what happens.
Reached inside and said to Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens." Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony and told him to move.
He knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He was
Bro,
just,
he warned him though.
He did. He warned him. But again, bro, you meet the force with the same amount of force, or you don't meet it with 3 times the force.
But you got to come into play too. What kind of reputation did Metcalf have? Is he known for being
A knockout artist or something. Yeah.
something like that? Is his reputation precedes him? Is he dangerous that to the point where Karmelo said, "Yo, I'm not even gonna try fist fighting this dude, man. If he tries to come at me with this football craziness, I'm just gonna put him down." Or let's play devil's advocate. Did Karmelo go and sit there on purpose, knowing that he was going to be the one to come and say something to him?
Well, it is looking a little premeditated. That's what I was going to get to.
So
Like,
from what I know,
yeah.
I did hear a couple different reports, and from what I know is before Karmelo entered the tent, there were words exchanged. Then he entered the tent, and that's when things escalated. That's from what I know. Witnesses say there were words exchanged.
What kind of words were exchanged before the tent situation, though? Where did that? What was that rooted from?
I mean, I can only imagine it was Karmelo running in the rain and saying, "Hey, y'all boys, let me sit under here," or something like along those lines.
Well, let's see. Let's watch this out a little bit more.
just a tragedy. What happened?
That's when Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest once before running away. When Anthony was taken into custody by a Frisco police officer, Anthony reportedly confessed to the crime, saying, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to," adding that,
Wow.
"I was protecting myself," and then asked the police officer, "Is he going to be okay?" Metcalf died in his brother's arms.
I'm not at that point to forgive and forget, but eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well.
This whole community has really wrapped their arms around us, and if I could say anything to the nation, I would say to make sure that you just hug your babies tight.
Damn, son. Yeah.
Is it preventable though? That's what I'm saying. The only way it would have been preventable if Karmelo Anthony didn't bring a weapon to school or to an event.
Yeah, that's the only that. What was that for? What was the need of the knife for exactly? You know what I mean? Like,
well, he sees prison YouTubers like you two going around talking about shanking people and think it's cool to have that on.
No, you're right too. I was thinking about all that too because I said I was thinking about it, and I said, what made him think that my life is in such danger that I need to walk around with a knife, and then become comfortable with the fact that he's walking around with the knife and is willing to use it. You know what I mean? And not really understand the repercussions of what it is that took place. Because for him to ask the officer that, it shows, this kid wasn't really thinking this through. You know what I mean?
I want to know, was there any history between these two, or anybody that they know? Like,
that's
maybe
important.
His homeboy was beefing with his homeboy.
Yeah, that's gonna come out eventually in investigative reports and all that. They're gonna do their
and not only
investigation.
I don't think. Let me just be clear. I don't think Karmelo should be charged with first-degree murder.
Yeah, that's harsh. That's rough.
That's a harsh That's harsh.
That's seeking the death penalty right there.
Yeah, I think maybe a second degree murder or maybe even a manslaughter charge would be feasible, because at the end of the day he had no right to, one, Metcalf had no right to put his hands on him. But and that's warranted. That's guaranteed. You have no right to put your hands on somebody else. But that does not give you leeway and the proper authority to take that person's life. What gives you leeway and authority to take a person's life is if your life is in imminent fear of danger. If you are going to go down and you are about to die, or you feel like this situation can become deadly, which I don't feel the situation could have been deadly. I feel like the most that could have came out of this situation is Metcalf put his hands on
Now you got to take in consideration too how big Metcalf and how big Carmelo is. There could
and
be
the
a big
generation we're living in.
size. There could be a big size significance. You know what I mean? So who knows? You know, Metcalf might be a lot bigger than um, Carmelo.
I feel like it's also the generation we're living in, bro. It's not the same as when we were growing up, to where it was okay to catch a fade. It was smiled upon to
Well, a
pop
lot of these
on
kids
somebody.
never taste blood in their mouth anyway. They don't even know what blood tastes like. So for them to, it just shows, man.
I think the key factor here is he gave him a warning. He said, touch me and see what happens. I think this is the key factor that we're overlooking, that he gave him a warning and said, touch me and see what happens, meaning his mind was already made up on what he was going to do.
No, absolutely. And just to touch on what you were saying earlier, I just saw another video pertaining to a stabbing. There was an actual employee of a store somewhere in the mall. Um, he had gotten to words with a potential customer and pulled out a knife on him, bro, and started acting crazy,
I seen that.
erratic.
It was in the mall. It was in
Yeah,
the
in the
mall.
mall.
He
The
actually
dude,
stabbed somebody.
no, he stabbed the guy, but the guy
The
was
GameStop
like,
employee.
the GameStop employee stabbed the customer, but the customer was under the impression and the safety net that there's no way that this employee of GameStop is really going to stab me. Because I watched the video and I saw the way he was watching this guy act crazy. It was almost like he's like, there's no way he's going to stab me. But
Absolutely. I watched the same video and I felt the same way, that the guy felt like there's no way this guy's gonna stab me.
there's
Or
no way.
maybe he was thinking like me, bro. Like if a GameStop employee pulls a knife on me, I mean, I might give you a non-vital part of my body to stab, because I know once I get stitched up at the hospital, I'm gonna own GameStop.
Right.
I'm gonna own GameStop. Your employee stabbed me with a knife.
Yeah,
I'm
but the
gonna own
fact
your
that they
store.
bet this fucking kid that was actually employed is beyond me, because for him to get so angry and irate and lose it to the point where he's working and he stabs a customer, bro, that's crazy, bro. There should have been some red flags before that. Where are the red flags? Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there were red flags here too, with Carmelo and with
Well, Tyreek
Metcalf.
Nasheed is saying that Austin Metcalf was in a gang too. He was throwing up gang signs, right? There's pictures of him just doing like the rock sign,
Are you
you
talking
know.
about that's supposed to be like some sort of gang sign, right? Latin Kings, I believe.
His dad said that things were said that he won't say on camera. That's what he said during the interview. So I don't know what was said. And this is a big open space, bro, because if you're going to say things were said, and then when the reporter asked what was said, and he said, I'm not going to say it right now, it'll come out later or something like that. What was said? That's what we want to know. Was it something racist that was said? Uh, is that why you're not saying it on camera? Or was it, something about a family member that was said, or just bickering back and forth? You get what I'm saying? I want to know the extent of what was said, because we have to understand that Carmelo said, touch me and see what happens. that means that Karmelo's mind was already made up that if he was assaulted, he was going to stab whoever assaulted him. So what were the words that led up to this point? Fuck coming in the tent. Fuck the rain. These people are not witches. The rain will not melt them. Nobody on that field will melt from the rain. So what was said that made the situation escalate to where Karmelo said, if you touch me, see what
And
happens?
we all been that kid too, where everything was crashing down on us, like we felt like the world was against us, and he might have been going through something where if I'm telling one more motherfucker touch me, it's he's crashing out, you know,
Right.
and that's a mental health thing too. It's like,
Absolutely, absolutely, bro. He could have been there. From what I know, they're at 2 different schools. He could have been going through issues at his school and just got
yeah,
tired
he
of
was an honor student. Carmelo Anthony and Austin
4.0,
Metcalf.
4.0.
Yeah, they both had good
it.
grades.
There's a reason you're bringing a knife to school, brother.
That's a good point, Pino. He might have been bringing the knife to school for the other school.
Exactly. We don't know what was going on with him at his school. He might have been getting picked on multiple times at his school and said, you know what? I'm not getting picked on no more. I'm bringing a knife to school with me from now on. And when that altercation went,
So yeah,
he remembered, hey, I got a knife. Touch me and see what happens.
I think it's a little deeper than that. I think it I don't know, man. Something had to take place prior to this, because for this kid just to be walking around with a knife, and I don't know, I don't know, man. This definitely needs a little bit more of attention to detail, and we need more information on what's happening.
What's that person that keeps posting Tyreshid? What's their name?
Oh, Tahid Rashid. Yeah,
He's a fucking dumbass.
he's been on No Jumper
Excuse my
before. Yeah, a lot
language.
of people call him dumb.
Excuse my language, but you have to understand, and I understand people want to play the race card issue, but we don't even know if that was even a factor here. We have to understand this is a football team. Yes, they're at a track meet, but this is a
So what's
football
the
team.
percentage, Pino? Let me ask you a question. What's the percentage of you thinking that this is uh, some sort of racial?
I honestly think it's 10% chance that this is racial. A 10% chance.
Well, they're going to use it,
Because
and
hear me out. Because one, this is the South. We're talking about Texas. Number 2, we're talking about football team. Yes, they're at a track meet, but this is a football team at a track meet. Number 3, half of that football team is most likely black. Metcalf most likely had best friends that were black on that football team. I don't think it was racist. I think it had more to do with football pride and bitch, you don't belong over here. You have the ops jacket on and you're coming over here. And yet, do I believe Metcalf might have boosted it up some? Maybe. Maybe he did. Maybe he was talking shit to the other kid. And maybe the other kid just got tired of people talking shit to him. And do I believe the other kid should be charged with murder? No. I believe he should be charged with manslaughter or something along those lines.
10 years.
Something where he can learn his lesson that,
10 years. 10 years is fair.
10 years is fair, bro. 10 years is at the end of the day, some people are like, oh, he deserves life. Third, but you have to understand we don't
Where's the teachers and the coaches at for this pavilion? Because I think this is the issue that I'm seeing is when there's 2 students going at each other and one's coming in your tent, you need to be over there to separate. Hey, let me get an umbrella and take you to another tent.
Yeah, there's some sort of intervention that should be able to take place, some preventive measures. Like, you're absolutely right. Assistant coach, maybe a special coach that deals with.
But
whatever.
I remember jumping kids, DBS. We jumped kids, bro. When I was in high school, being on the other football team, I played for Palmetto, bro. We used to have Manatee, Southeast, and all these teams, dude. And it was like real war. It was like Florida State fans versus Gator fans. That was like a gang shit too.
Wow. Yeah, we don't have that in the city, man.
Yeah, so football is in the South, football becomes very emotional, bro.
But this is one of the reasons why they don't have it in the city, because you already got gang mentality, and then you have a strong sense of discipline to go along with the gang mentality, man, that would create like a super soldier out here for gang members. That's how they look at it, and I'm just being real, because that'll elevate, and they don't want that, so they
Well,
don't
the
keep.
best NFL players come from where Pino's from. A lot of them. A lot of them that are in the NFL, like Lamar Jackson, and they were part of, I wouldn't say gangs, but they were part of a lifestyle. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
football saved a lot of these kids' lives down here, bro. In the South, football saves lives.
Yeah, up here, that shit. There's
I don't
not
know
much
why they
to
don't
do
do
lives.
football. They do in Pennsylvania, DBS. I think all the
That's not
guys
the
is just,
city.
yeah,
That's not the city. The city is in itself is a whole nother beast in itself.
in upstate New York.
It's a well-oiled machine. Now, upstate New York, they have football and lacrosse and all that. It's different. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole different mentality. But to bring that to the city, man,
Saquon Barkley's from around there.
New York's big on baseball, though. Like
it
really,
is, but it's a very small percentage of people that actually play basketball. It's not.
I
It's
don't know
not
why,
what's the
man. That's a
thing.
lot of money.
They said the cause of death was a drug overdose. And he had blood loss via stab wounds. But they're saying he died from a drug overdose, allegedly. This is the autopsy report. So he was high out his mind and decided to go mess with that boy Karmelo Anthony, who was minding his business, sitting down minding his business, taking pictures, posting guns, throwing up gang signs. There he is, throwing up gang signs. You play stupid games and you win stupid prizes.
man, that wasn't no damn gang sign, man.
From day one, the media shaped the narrative. Austin was rightfully mourned, described as the golden boy, smart, respectful, and beloved. But when it came to Karmelo, the suspect, headlines changed. The tone was colder. His face was shown with words like killer and charged with murder. No mention of fear, no exploration of self-defense, just immediate condemnation. And for many watching, that felt familiar. Because America has a long history of labeling young black men as threats before the facts even settle. As the case developed, misinformation exploded online. Fake stories claimed Austin had drugs in his system. Other posts painted Karmelo as a gang member or violent troublemaker. None of it was confirmed. But it didn't matter. The damage was done. Law enforcement had to step in just to warn people. Stop sharing lies.